Hold on. Do I hear pot?
What? Okay, just a second there, Chief.
Oh, thank God. Are you a lawyer or a vigilante?
No. I'm a drug chemist. I work out of a government lab. I'm an expert in drug testing.
Well, so am I. I test for drugs every single day.
Yeah, funny thing about that. You sometimes hear these stories about someone fired because a drug test said they were on heroin when they actually just ate a poppy seed bagel, as if a poppy seed bagel with a side of heroin wouldn't make for a delicious breakfast, but whatever. Assuming they weren't mixing breakfast items with hard drugs, the issue with the drug test isn't that science is totally stumped when it comes to testing drugs. The issue is that these tests aren't really drug tests at all. Think of them as pre-tests. They spot the presence of a class of drugs, but they're never meant to actually test for the drugs themselves. Instead, they're supposed to tell us which test to run next. And sometimes, no one runs that next test.
Well, one test sounds like more than enough to me. The boss says I'm out here for convictions, not exonerations.
Okay, but that $2 kit you're using isn't going to tell us anything for sure. I've seen screen tests like that flag ibuprofen as marijuana.
Yeah, well, I just tested a can in this guy's car, and this thing said it's meth, so case closed.
I've actually seen that exact thing happen, only for later tests to show it was Adderall or Sudafed. Let's actually do a second specific test and see what the substance really is. The substance is kitty litter. It's kitty litter, and the cops' test said it was meth. That's not a joke, that's a thing that my lab really detected one time. I am so glad I didn't try to smoke it. Next up, a defendant whose house cops raided and found 7 kilos of cocaine. Good God! That's a lot, but keep in mind, the way the law works, that number includes all the coke as well as everything the drug is cut with. If that's 7 kilos of pure cocaine, he gets 10 to 99 years. If it's 7 kilos of caffeine mixed with a tiny thimble of cocaine, same sentence. You made 7 whole-ass kilos of cocaine under the law, and sometimes that kind of makes sense, but other times it's just nuts. Take the following example based on a real case. You're prescribed Percocet for an injury, and you keep taking it afterward because Percocet is addictive. Police catch you with 10 tablets. Each contains 10 milligrams of oxy plus 650 milligrams of other totally legal stuff. But you're going to be charged as though the entire thing is an opium derivative, like you were carrying 6.6 grams of pure heroin. You get a minimum sentence of 70 months plus a fine of $50,000. Get caught with 38 tablets, you now get over 18 years in prison and a $500,000 fine minimum.
And what's this here? A bag of pills? Marijuana pills?
It's Xanax.
Yeah, we'll see about that. These pills are just inert fillers. Turns out they're fake Xanax. But apparently this was a reused bag because the test also detected a few nanospecks of heroin in there. That means, under the law, this is 2 grams of heroin. So guess what that guy's being charged with? It's a slippery slope from nanospecks of heroin sprinkled on your fake anxiety medication to becoming the second coming of Pablo Escobar. But it's not just the hardest, craziest drugs that get this much scrutiny. Marijuana's become more and more legal nationwide, and yet cops still have us exhaustively analyzing every suspected marijuana sample, even if the drug's legal in the next state. It's somehow still a DEA Schedule I controlled substance, which makes no sense.
You said you wanted a brownie?
Right, but is that a pot brownie or a THC brownie?
That's kind of a dumb question.
It makes a huge difference. THC, the psychoactive compound in cannabis, is categorized differently from marijuana and carries a different sentence. If I have to test a brownie, I dig in for microscopic traces of cannabis plant because the penalty changes depending on if they can confirm the THC came from cannabis itself.
Huh, yet another suspicious baggie. This is THC candy, right?
Do I have to answer that?
Test this, will ya?
That's 450 grams of candy. So if we charge that guy with 450 grams of THC, he gets 5 to 99 years. But here's where those aggregate weight laws can actually help a defendant. See, I also spotted some green leafy material in the bag, so now he's instead charged with 15.75 ounces of marijuana possession, which is actually a lower state jail felony.
Wait, that one, I don't get that one. That one doesn't make sense.
Hey, you're telling me.
So I'm supposed to give a urine sample, and my pockets are empty, so you can see that I'm not carrying any piss in a bottle.
Right, there's a cup behind the screen.
Cool. You're not gonna stick anything up my asshole first, right? To see if I've stashed a bottle of fake whiz up there to pour into a cup?
No, that's not procedure.
Nice. Gotta go, bye.
That actually happened to me once. People go to crazy lengths to beat urine tests, so we always have to be prepared for fraud. We know all the usual tricks, adding bleach, toilet water, using apple juice, bringing someone else's room temperature pee. There's even fake urine made specifically to fool labs. You can buy entire slop buckets of the stuff online or in smoke shops, and also sex shops.
This is for novelty use only.
Meaning what? People spray it on each other for fun?
Maybe.
I'll take every brand you have.
Well, she sounds like a very lucky lady. Or a lucky man. Or a lucky department store mannequin. Or...
Over the years, I've tested them all. It's easy to use hand warmers to make sure your thick, ropey piss is the correct amount of hotness. They're usually the right color, pH, specific gravity, the oxidant test, the creatine test. They pass in every category. These work as not officially advertised. But I still knew it was fake, so I needed to figure out a test that can defeat them. I got it. I'll use Ehrlich's Regent, which tests for urobilinogen, a pee compound you can't store for long and can't synthesize cheaply. Not one of these fake urines came up positive for it, but real urine always does. Now, if you'll excuse me, even if I can tell the difference between fake pee and the real deal, my swingers group cannot.